Some people lose everything in a single moment. But what happens when grief doesn't just take away what you had, but also destroys what you still have left? This is the story of a man who survived the worst day of his life, only to create new nightmares for the one person who needed him most. Today I'm sharing a story that'll break your heart, and then piece it back together in ways you won't expect. This isn't about a tragic accident. It's about what comes after. It's about a father who lost his wife, and almost threw away his daughter in the process. But here's the thing nobody talks about. Sometimes the real tragedy isn't what happens to us, it's what we do with the pain afterwards. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand why some of the hardest battles we face aren't the ones that break us, but the ones we fight when we're already broken. Daniel Martinez was 34 years old when his world ended on a rainy Tuesday in March. He was a high school math teacher, the kind of guy who wore the same 3 sweaters on rotation and drank too much coffee. He had a wife named Sophie who worked as a nurse and made the best lasagna you'd ever taste. They had a 7-year-old daughter named Lily, who loved drawing unicorns and had just lost her first tooth. Normal life. Regular family. Nothing special, except to them it was everything. Sophie died in a car accident on her way home from a night shift. A drunk driver ran a red light. She didn't suffer, the doctor said, like that was supposed to make it better. One moment Daniel had a partner, a best friend, someone who knew how he took his coffee, and which students' parents annoyed him the most. The next moment, he had nothing but a phone call that turned his legs to water, and a little girl asking why mommy wasn't coming home. The first few weeks were a blur. People brought casseroles, lots of casseroles, the kind of food that sits in your fridge, because you can't stomach eating when your insides feel hollowed out. Daniel's sister stayed for a while. She helped with the funeral, picked out Sophie's dress, held Lily when the little girl cried herself to sleep. Friends showed up. They said the right things. They hugged him and told him to call if he needed anything. Then slowly they went back to their lives, because that's what people do. Life moves on for everyone except the ones left behind. Daniel stopped going to work. His principal told him to take all the time he needed, so he did. He stopped showering regularly. He stopped answering calls. He sat on the couch and stared at the wall for hours, replaying the last conversation he had with Sophie. It was about groceries. She'd asked him to pick up milk. He'd forgotten. Such a small, stupid thing to be your last words with someone. But here's where the story gets really dark. While Daniel was drowning in his grief, Lily was drowning too. She was 7 years old and had just lost her mother. She needed her father more than ever.
Instead, she got a ghost. A man who looked like her dad but didn't act like him anymore. Daniel stopped making her breakfast. He stopped checking her homework. He stopped tucking her in at night or asking about her day. Lily would come home from school and find him in the same spot on the couch, sometimes still in yesterday's clothes. The school started calling. Lily was coming in with dirty clothes. Her hair wasn't brushed. She was falling asleep in class. Her teacher noticed she was bringing the same packed lunch every day, peanut butter sandwiches she made herself. When they asked her about it, Lily just shrugged and said Daddy was tired. That's what kids do. They protect their parents, even when their parents have stopped protecting them. Daniel's sister Maria started showing up more often. She'd find dishes piled in the sink, laundry everywhere, and Lily doing her best to hold everything together. A 7-year-old kid trying to be the adult because her father had checked out. Maria tried talking to Daniel. She tried being gentle. She tried being firm. Nothing worked. He'd nod, promise to do better, and then slide right back into the darkness. Months passed like this. 6 months of Daniel barely functioning while Lily learned to survive on cereal and whatever she could make in the microwave. Research shows that children who lose a parent are at significantly higher risk for emotional and behavioral problems. But when the surviving parent shuts down, that risk skyrockets. These kids don't just grieve their dead parent, they grieve the living one too. They lose both. Then came the moment that changed everything. It was a random Thursday evening. Daniel was on the couch like always. Lily walked in from school, dropped her backpack, and just stood there looking at him. She didn't say anything at first, just stared with those big brown eyes that looked exactly like Sophie's. Then she said something that cut through Daniel's fog like a knife. She said, "I miss Mommy, but I miss you too, Daddy, and you're still here." 5 simple words. You're still here. but they hit Daniel like a truck. Because she was right. He was still here. He was alive. He was breathing. But he'd been acting like he died in that car, too. He'd been so busy mourning Sophie that he'd forgotten Lily was also mourning. Except Lily had it worse because she'd lost both parents that day. Daniel looked at his daughter, really looked at her, for the first time in months. Her hair was tangled. Her clothes didn't fit right. She looked skinnier than he remembered. There were dark circles under her eyes. And she was looking at him with this mixture of hope and fear. Like she wasn't sure if her real dad was still in there somewhere. Something broke inside Daniel that night. Or maybe something finally started to heal. He got up from that couch. He walked over to Lily and hugged her for the first time in what felt like forever. She burst into tears. He did too. They stood there in their messy living room, crying together for the person they both lost and for all the time they'd wasted not holding on to each other. That hug didn't fix everything. Pain doesn't work like that. You don't just snap your fingers and stop grieving. But it was a start. It was Daniel finally understanding that Sophie was gone and nothing would bring her back. But Lily was here. Lily was real. Lily needed him. And maybe, just maybe, he needed her too. The road back wasn't easy. Daniel started seeing a therapist. He joined a grief support group for widowers. He learned that grief isn't something you get over. It's something you learn to carry. Some days the weight crushes you. Other days you can actually breathe under it. He learned that it's okay to fall apart, but you can't stay in pieces when someone else needs you to be whole. He started small, making Lily breakfast before school, packing her lunch with little notes inside, helping with homework at the kitchen table, going to parent-teacher conferences, braiding her hair, even though he was terrible at it and she'd laugh at how lumpy it looked. He went back to work part-time. His students welcomed him back with a card they'd all signed. Lily started smiling again. Really smiling, not the fake, brave smile she'd been wearing for months. They created new routines. Friday nights became pizza and movie night. They'd snuggle on the couch under blankets and watch whatever animated movie Lily picked. Sunday mornings, they'd make pancakes together. Lily would crack the eggs and Daniel would flip them. And they'd make a mess and laugh about it. They started talking about Sophie, not in hushed, sad whispers, but in real conversations. They'd share memories. They'd look at photos. They'd cry sometimes, but they'd also laugh at the funny stories. Daniel learned something important during this time. Grief and love aren't opposites. They're connected. You grieve hard because you loved hard. And the way you honor someone who's gone isn't by dying with them. It's by living for the people they loved. Sophie loved Lily more than anything. The best way Daniel could honor his wife's memory was by being the father their daughter deserved. 2 years later, Daniel and Lily have built a new kind of normal. It's not the life they had before. That life is gone, but it's a good life, a different life. Lily is 9 now. She still draws unicorns, but now she also draws pictures of her mom and puts them on the fridge. Daniel still teaches math, but now he also volunteers with a support group for kids who've lost parents. He shares his story. He tells them it's okay to fall apart, but he also tells them about the moment his daughter reminded him he was still here. The thing about rock bottom is that it gives you something solid to push off from. Daniel hit his lowest point. He neglected his child. He almost lost everything he had left. But he didn't. He found his way back. Not because he was strong or special or had some secret. He found his way back because a 7-year-old girl loved him. Enough to reach into the darkness and remind him that life wasn't over yet. This story isn't just about Daniel and Lily. It's about everyone who's ever lost something, so big they couldn't see past it. It's about parents struggling with depression while kids need them. It's about the people we become when tragedy strikes and the people we can still choose to be afterwards. Pain is real, grief is real, but so is the person standing in front of you who still needs you. If you're in that dark place right now,
if you're drowning in whatever pain you're carrying, I need you to hear this.
You're still here. That matters. The people who love you need you to be here, really here. Not just physically present, but emotionally alive. Get help. Talk to someone. Take it one day at a time, 1 hour. 1 minute if that's all you can manage. But don't give up on the people who refuse to give up on you.